We're experiencing a near total breakdown of civilization in a large segment of the American black population. It's just coming apart. It's becoming so dangerous they can't even live around each other anymore. The good black people are afraid of this kind of black person. There's an easy solution to this, but I don't know if anybody's willing to do it. Anyway, welcome back to What They Don't Say. I'll tell you, my friends, this is a touchy subject. A lot of people are afraid to talk about it because, oh, white people don't know. They can't talk about it. Well, we live here. So, yeah, we got a right to say something. The truth is, there's no race in America that people have tried to do more for than the blacks. Sure, they got a bad start. Well, everybody's got a sad story, okay? I never met a slave in my life. My family never owned one here. But every society, every family alive today had ancestors that either were slaves, owned slaves, or were both. Because before the industrial age, that's how the world worked. So cry me a friggin' river. It was a long time ago. A lot of people sacrificed to end that slavery. Where's the gratitude for that? There's been all kinds of efforts, millions, billions, billions, if not more than I'm sure it's more than $1 trillion now, has been spent since the Great Society of Lyndon Baines Johnson, the LBJ failed president of the 60s, who started the war on poverty. They go out, they wanted to buy the black vote because the Democrats love nothing more than owning blacks. They wanted to buy the black vote, so they go out there and start this fake war on poverty. And all they did was break up the black family, and the black family went right along with it because the women, the more babies they had, the more money they got. Then the government decides they need housing because they're not fair. It's not fair. They don't get no good houses, right? So the government built all these projects, coast to coast, the projects. Projects now, that's synonymous with war zone. Slum, ghetto, war zone. That's the projects. The government built them Indian reservations for black people. It was black zoos. That's what the Democrats built. Black zoos. They called them projects, and they became lawless because the Democrats wouldn't let the law in there. The Democrats wouldn't let the cops and the judges prosecute. It got out of hand. It got out of hand. Then it turns out that those projects, you can build them brand new. The buildings don't last 30 years because they trash them. They climb up and down the balconies, break into each other's places. I mean, it's all been totally out of control. There really had been a problem with racism directed toward blacks in some parts of the country. We all know about the Deep South, what went on down there. And that's where most of it was. But a lot of people spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of good hard work at ending that racism, creating opportunities for blacks. Or just not getting in their way, giving them a fair chance. Judging black people by the guy that's sitting across the table from you instead of this classifying them all as one monolithic people. A lot of blacks responded to that, and a lot of them have done really well. But we had pretty much put a lid on racism. It's like putting out a forest fire. There's a few smoldering embers left. But that became a problem for the Democrats because when they didn't have racism to scream about, they didn't have anything else to offer the blacks because the Democrats run all the black cities and those people live like shit in those cities. The cities are going to crap. The Democrats don't want to talk about policies because their policies have failed. They'll promise things, they'll talk about that. But America had done a good job ending racism, and the Democrats needed to bring it back. There was opportunity for blacks. A lot of them were going to school. A lot of them were working with good families. Putting racism to bed, making it part of the past, was beginning to work. The problem was it was too successful, and Democrats need people angry. They had to re-energize racism, and they did it, beginning with Obama. The real boost in racism in this country came with Obama, when the guy that's partway black comes into office and starts complaining about what a racist country America is after he gets elected to office. And then we got Oprah, who's America's first black billionaire, complaining about how blacks don't have opportunity. I'm sick of it. Everybody I know is sick of it. Black fatigue is real. The first time I heard of black fatigue, it was 2 months ago in YouTube, and it was some black people talking about it. Black fatigue, you've worn it out, okay? Everybody has done enough for the black people of America. There's a lot of good black people that are highly successful. They're raising good kids. They got good families. And I don't know how they do it. It's got to be very hard to be a black parent today trying to raise good kids in this society with the influences they have coming from their own culture, this hip-hop culture, where they talk about smacking their bitches, popping caps in people. They talk about killing each other. They talk about fighting the cops. They don't talk about going to college and getting a job, do they? They're self-destructing, and it's taken down a large part of black America with them. I don't know how good black Americans raise good kids today. I got a friend that did. I got a friend, black guy, that was in the service. Now he's some kind of hotshot technician with Microsoft. His daughter is an Army surgeon. And she's been in the field hospitals and the combat zones, and she's been land-based here back in the States. But how do they do it? I mean, it's hard enough raising white kids in a white neighborhood. How the hell do you raise good kids, good black kids, with the influences they have on them from the scum in black society? And I'm talking about the haters, the racists. I tell you what, look up Carnival Cruises. Just look it up in YouTube and watch what happens. They cheapened up the cruises so families could afford it easier in the hard times. And the gang culture of the black society discovered it. They ruined the cruises. Carnival Cruise Lines had to change rules, institute new rules, because the black people that were going did not know how to act. I know blacks that quit going on Carnival Cruises. I would hate being a black person and getting lumped up with this thug, ghetto, ratchet community. In case you're too white and you don't know what ratchet means, I just learned this in YouTube too. Ratchet is the name they give mostly for those black women, the loudmouths, that dress like they're always going to the club. You know, they twerk at the gas station. You know, the loudmouth, no matter what they say, no matter what kind of problem they have, they start screaming and hollering about their rights. That's ratchet behavior, okay? It's thug, it's lowlife, okay? That's another name for saying lowlife, the ratchet blacks. How do the good blacks put up with this? I don't blame them for moving away from them. They have to if they want to raise good kids, because these black kids in these cities, they're out of control. Everybody knows Chicago's a friggin' war zone. There's between 25 and 40 blacks shooting blacks every weekend in Chicago. There's 12,700 blacks murdered in 2023. Almost all of them were young. It's young men shooting young black men and whoever else is standing around them. This is out of control. They cannot function as a civil part of civilized society. Every time you hear about a slum or a ghetto, everybody thinks black. You automatically think black. It's synonymous. All of the most dangerous neighborhoods in all of our largest cities, they're all black. All of our highest crime rates, they're all black. The lowest graduation rate, black. The highest incident of single pregnancies, black. The highest abortion rates, black. The highest incarceration rate, black. The highest dropout rate, black. Black society has a huge problem, and it's because they're raising their kids to be this way. There's an element of them. Any good black person, if you got one that's a friend, you can talk to them about this, and they will tell you. They don't want nothing to do with it, but nobody else can fix this. Don't come back to the white people no more saying you need money to fix this. The money doesn't work. Build them homes, they trash them. You give them stuff, they become dependent. They don't use it as a step up. Everyone's going to say, well, you can't say that about all. Well, that's right. There's exceptions to every rule, but there's still the rule, right? Everybody knows this is a majority problem in that segment of the black population. The thug, ghetto, ratchet segment of the black population. The gangbangers, street thug, hip hop. They're a problem. It's not safe going to any event anymore with a large number of black people, especially the young ones. Kansas City Chiefs tried to have a celebration for the city after their Super Bowl win. Black kids shot up the crowd. They shoot up the parks. They shoot up the state and county fairs. They have problems inside and outside. In the schools. In stores. They go into malls. They have these flash mobs where they go in and they steal everything in the mall. It's out of control. Now they're complaining that the stores are closing in their neighborhoods. They're losing the grocery stores. Walmart's pulling out of some cities. It's because of the crime, because the blacks are so far out of control. There are blacks out there today that are third or fourth generation from the 1960s. They're already 3 or 4 generations down in that short time. And they have single moms in horrible neighborhoods with no help from a man, with no positive influence from anybody in their life, and they're raising kids with multiple fathers in one house in these really bad, dangerous neighborhoods. A lot of them are dropped out of school, can't work, have no skills, and they're raising kids. This has been going on for a couple generations. What kind of kids do you think are going to come out of that environment? These kids don't have a chance. At birth, they are doomed, and it's all because of what the Democrats have done to the black society. These kids are born without a chance because they don't have anybody to teach them. They don't have anybody to mentor them. They don't have any role models. And they've still got the Democrats keeping them down because if the blacks are hurt, if the blacks are angry, they are useful. That's what the Democrats need. That's why they never do nothing for. Obama didn't do anything for the blacks. Everyone thought he was going to do so much for them. They thought Michelle would make that his job. No, instead, Obama got in there, ignored the blacks, ignored everything. He was from Chicago, and he didn't care what happened to the blacks in Chicago. He was all in for the gays and the Muslims. You know it. I know it. Obama didn't do a damn thing for the blacks. He helped the Muslims. He brought a lot of them in, distributed them all over the country, and he bent over backwards for the gays. That was his people, not the blacks. It was the Muslims and the gays were his people. And that is who he took care of. And once again, another Democrat stabbed blacks in the back. Hey, if you're getting out of this, this is a new channel. I said from the start, I will say what they don't say. That's the name of the channel for a reason. Because the truth is, there's a lot of important things that need to be said that we just don't hear from media for whatever reason. I won't guess at their motives, but I will say that I will tell you what is going on that they won't talk about. I've done that in every episode so far. I will continue to do so. I hope you get something worthwhile out of this, so you like and subscribe, because it takes a while to get discovered in these YouTube algorithms. And the key to it, you got to have people like, you got to have people subscribe. I hope you do it, and we continue to grow. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Now, how do you go about fixing 5 generations of family when you've got kids that have never grown up seeing a man go to work in the morning? When they have no one influencing them, telling them, you've got to get an education, you got to work hard, be ready to work hard. If you want to get anywhere, that's what you're going to do. Pick a career. Find something you're good at. They don't get the nurturing. They don't get the inspiration. They get told the world is racist. It's all that white man's fault. You can't do nothing. You should be mad. We're mad. We need more. Demand, demand, demand. That's what ISIS and Hamas do with their children. They teach them despair. They teach them hopelessness. They teach them how to hate, because once you teach someone how to hate, you can use them. And that's what the Democrats have done to these blacks. Once you teach them how to hate, you learn how to control them. Then you can use them. And the Democrats have done that, and they've destroyed a large section of the black population by doing so. And now we've got the damage, and you're seeing it every day in the news. People that just don't know how to be civil. No one ever taught them rational thought. No one ever taught them conflict resolution. The schools are no good. They complain that no one will fix up their neighborhoods. Well, hell, start out by picking up the garbage out of your yard. You can't put money into those neighborhoods because it's not an investment, it's a loss. Every time you put dollars into fixing something in those neighborhoods, it's a loss unless you take over the neighborhood and run those people out. I've seen so many places where the city say, oh, that's an urban area. That's the tagline for black neighborhood. That's an urban area. There's blight. They don't have any opportunities. Lo and behold, the Hispanics and the Asians move in, and what happens? The Hispanics start flipping the houses. They buy them for nothing, completely rebuild them, work until 10 o'clock at night, flip them, sell them. Pretty soon you see the Hispanics driving new trucks because they're working their asses off. And they've made opportunity. They're fixing up the houses in these neighborhoods where the blacks have been told by the Democrats that it can't be done. The Asians come in. They open up bookkeeping places, house cleaning businesses, nail salons, hair salons. In the neighborhoods where Democrats had been telling blacks they didn't have any opportunity, where the blacks came to believe it, where everyone was convinced we've got to throw more money at it. Well, the Hispanics and the Asians are doing it without anybody else gifting them any money. They're communities that help each other. They pool resources and lift each other up, while the black people are shooting each other in the same friggin' neighborhoods. We got to quit lying because this is bullshit. Nobody needs to do another damn thing for these people. We have done enough since the middle 60s and LBJ. We've thrown countless boatloads of money at these people, and all we've got is more decay, more demands. The families have deteriorated. They don't even have any reference for fixing them. When you've got kids that have never seen a dad go to work, I've known black people that he knew his dad, but his brothers didn't know their dads, right? There's too many dads in one house, except they never show up. And these girls do this on purpose, and then they claim they're a victim because they're struggling with 5 kids when they're 23 years old. We all know how that happens. They should be on the books instead of their backs. But you look at them, and they've got the $400 wigs. What is it, $80 for those stupid looking garage broom eyelashes? They got money for shit like that. Now they're complaining that the schools need to buy school supplies. They can't do it. They shouldn't even be having kids. The schools aren't safe. The teachers will tell you the schools aren't safe in the black neighborhoods. Why is it always the blacks? It's because of the black culture that has been allowed to grow with the encouragement of the Democrats, who paint them as constant victims. They're a victim of themselves. They're a victim of Democrats. It's no one else's fault. No one else can fix that section, that sector of the black community. Blacks have to do it. I see a lot of good black people that are sincere, especially the young ones. I'm seeing a lot of young blacks in YouTube that admit they voted for Trump. They don't want nothing to do. They won't go to those ghetto neighborhoods. They won't go to those clubs. They know what happens there. They don't want to die. They're not part of the drug culture that's behind it all, the drug and gang culture. They're not part of that. They want something in their lives. They're raising their kids with messages of hope and opportunity. And they're living better lives. But they're a small percentage of the black population. They are speaking out. A lot of blacks who have been silent this whole time, they're speaking out. They're saying this is wrong. They're saying you all crazy. Well, like I say, the first time I heard the term black fatigue, I heard that from multiple blacks. Just like the word ratchet. I didn't know what a ratchet black was. It's derogatory. It's a reference to the low-life blacks that are causing all these problems, that don't know how to behave in public, that scream at the people in McDonald's. They throw food around because their french fries were cold. They act the fool. And these good blacks are calling them out. That's what it's got to be. Black society has to fix black society, because when everyone else tries, either throwing the money away, or the blacks say, you don't understand because you's white. You don't understand. Yeah, we do. We fix ours. We did our part to end racism. And now the worst racists in America are blacks. Obviously, I'm not talking about the good, well-balanced, productive black members of society that are just like everybody else, but they just happen to be black. I'm talking about the people, you know who I'm talking about. It's the ghetto thug mentality. It's the black culture that is damaging the black culture. That's the people I'm talking about. And yes, they are racist, and they're proud to be racist. They don't like the Hispanics. They don't like the Asians. And they sure as hell hate the whites. The black women really hate the white women. We know why that is. But it's not safe being around these people anymore. You can't go in a crowd. I don't care what color you are. It's not safe being in a crowd that is predominantly black, because you don't know when the bullets are going to start flying. This is out of control. We can't have a civil society unless people agree to be civilized. A lot of people wanted to end racism. A lot of other people just wanted their turn to be in charge of it for a while. Lo and behold, the Democrats, who have mastered it from the very beginning, they still managed to keep control of racism, just like they did before and after the Civil War. They've done it. They've used those blacks for 60 years since LBJ. They're obsessed with race. Everything they do and think is about race. Everything they talk about is about race. The first thing they think of, they look, see what color you are, and they pigeonhole you and they stereotype you. Well, I never owned a friggin' slave. My family didn't own the black slaves in America. Like I say, all of our families owned slaves somewhere at some time, and we've been slaves. Cry me a friggin' river. I don't give a rat's ass about American slavery anymore. That got fixed, okay? What about all the black girls that are slaves for some pimp today, huh? Anybody crying for them? I don't see any black leaders out saying free those girls. What about the people that are slaves to their drug habits from the black community? I don't want to hear any more crying. I don't want to hear any more offers of help. I don't want to hear any more, we're going to give them more money. Everybody has done enough. There's a certain number, a certain segment of that black population that doesn't seem to want fixed, can't even relate to what a normal productive life is. Giving them any more help is just enabling. It's like pouring booze down an alcoholic. When you throw them money, when you give them a free house to tear up. Enough is enough. The black community has got to fix the black community. They won't listen to anybody else. Nobody else has the credibility. So it has to be the blacks. And I'm sorry, because they don't deserve to have to do this. The good blacks who have really busted their asses, had good families, work hard, done something with their lives, they don't deserve to have that put on them, but nobody else has any credibility with them. No one else is allowed to talk about it. Thank God a lot of these good blacks are speaking up today. As for the white people, step back, take a deep breath, focus on yourself, and stop pretending to throw money at them. And these stupid Democrat policies are going to fix anything, because all they've done is destroy them. 12,700 of them killed in 2023 by other blacks. 12,700. That's a war. No, the problem isn't in what the whites do to black society, or that they haven't done enough for black society. The problem is black society needs to do something for itself. They can start by a little brotherly love, cleaning up your own neighborhoods, putting your families together. But what do I know? It's a black thing, right? Well, I'll just shut my mouth, leave me alone. We'll let the blacks worry about it. Maybe if they get it right, God will continue to bless this great country of ours.